to Soldier On's cooking spot and our Operation Dinnertime cooking. My name is Leanne Elliston and I'm a dietitian at Nutrition Australia. Today I'm going to be cooking for you a delicious beef and broccoli stir fry. Really basic recipe that you can pretty much put together with whatever vegetables you can get your hands on. It doesn't have to be beef either as the meat. But today we've got a range of veggies that I'm going to show you how I have prepared them. So before we start with launching into our stir fry, it's really important to get your veggies prepped. That's probably where most of the work comes into it, and then it all just happens at the end and forms a beautiful, nourishing dish. So the veggies that we're going to be working with is onion. So onion's a base for most of our recipes. So I've got an onion. The way I'm going to chop up the onion for this dish is I want to cut it in little quarters. So cut the ends off, cut the onion in half, and then I'm going to create sort of segments, quarter type segments. So you've got small pieces of onion, but not too small, because you still want to have some texture of the onion in there. And so here's some onion that I've done previously. So that'll be ready to go into the stir fry. The next veggie we're going to do, which is the hero of the dish, is our broccoli. So we want to have broccoli florets. So a floret is really just that, is a floret. If the florets are a little bit big, so you kind of want them just to be like a mouth size. If they're a bit big, then just cut them in half. And that's sort of a nice, a bit easier piece of broccoli to manage in your mouth. Now, a lot of people throw this away, but this is actually a really lovely, tasty component of the dish. So I always encourage people to use the stem of your broccoli, and it is a delightful addition, nice texture, and it's actually quite tasty. So what I do when I cut up the stem is I just take the outside hard bits off, and this inside is actually really lovely and tender. And we're just going to chop that up into small pieces, and that will go in with our broccoli as part of the vegetable component of the dish. All right, now our next ingredient, really important, very versatile ingredient. I'm sure we've all got a few in the fridge. They last a while. Some carrots. So a large carrot. With the carrot, we're going to just top and tail it. I have peeled this carrot. You can leave the peel on if you like, but just make sure you give it a good wash before cutting it. And when I cut this carrot, I'm going to cut it lengthways to start with, and then I'm going to try and get it into small sticks like this. So I'll sort of cut it like that, and then each one I've got little sticks like that, and that's a really nice sort of size of the carrot pieces to go into the stir fry. The next ingredient we're going to, or vegetable rather, that we're going to chop up is the capsicum. I've got a red capsicum here. It provides a lot more colour into the dish, and of course our capsicum is again, you know, another flavour that we're adding and texture. I've got a little bit of tears coming out of my eyes from the onion. So you'll notice how I've cut the capsicum. Rather than launching in this way, I'm going to cut the sides down so that we can leave the seeds inside intact. Otherwise you end up with a pretty horrible mess of seeds all over the place. So you really just want to cut the sides of the capsicum, and then you can discard the seeds, or you can put them in your garden and see if a capsicum plant grows. So get out the remainder of the seeds, and then we're going to make, much like the carrots, we're going to make some little strips of capsicum. So it's simply a matter of cutting into lovely strips like that. So it's really easy then to chop up your capsicum. And those strips are perfect in the stir fry. You could chop them this way too if you wanted to, make them a little bit shorter. There we go. And I'll chop this one this way. And there's our capsicum strips, simple. Right there, you've actually got just some nice snacks that you could have as an afternoon tea with a bit of hummus dip. And even you could use the broccoli as well as a snack. The other ingredient I've got is some snow peas. Lovely to eat on their own as well as a snack. Beautiful in a stir fry. With our snow peas, we're going to put them in whole, but when you buy the snow peas, they've got the tip, the leafy bit on the top. Don't really want to eat that. So what you do is you simply break that tip off. And when you break it off, there's usually a stringy bit that comes off with it. So pull that stringy bit off, and that's just some less stringiness you have to deal with in your recipe. So you just break it and pull the stringy bit, and there you've got your snow peas. I've also got some ginger. Where's my ginger? Here's my ginger. Good to use fresh ginger. Love fresh ginger. A lot more flavoursome than the jarred ginger or the tube ginger or even the dry ginger. Of course, if you haven't got fresh ginger, you can use those other alternatives. But for maximum flavour, go for the fresh ginger. So I just buy a piece of ginger root like this, and I've peeled a bit of the skin off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these plainer graters to get the ginger. So it's just a matter of grating the ginger, and it comes out beautiful and fine, and that's perfect for the dish that we are going to make. I've also got some couple of cloves of garlic as well, and the garlic you could use on the planer grater or with a garlic press. So there's all of our vegetable components of this dish, and now that's really the hard work done. Now we're going to put it all together and create this delicious beef and broccoli stir fry. So I'm going to get my frying pan on, using the good old frying pan again, favourite implement. If you've got a wok, of course that's great as well, or just an ordinary frying pan on the stove is good. And what we're going to start off is with just a bit of oil in the frying pan. So I have used some sesame oil today. Imparts a beautiful flavour into your Asian dishes. So I highly recommend whenever you're cooking an Asian dish to use a sesame oil for flavour. And it's also a pretty healthy oil, so it's got the unsaturated fats in it, and it's the saturated fats that we don't want to have, but the poly or monounsaturated fats are the healthier fats. So I'm going to heat up that sesame oil. You can already smell the beautiful aroma from that sesame coming through. And then what we're going to do is brown our steak. So I've got about half a kilo, 400 grams of some steak strips. So I've chopped up some rump steak in this particular instance. You can buy the steak that's already chopped up, so much more convenient. Usually costs a bit more money when you buy it that way. So rump steak, be mindful to get a pretty good quality steak so that it is nice and tender. This isn't the sort of dish where you want to be using gravy beef or casserole beef. It wants to be, you need something more like a sirloin or a rump steak so that it keeps its tenderness. And we just want to brown our steak. We don't want to cook it full, we're just going to brown the outside of it because we want to keep it lovely and tender. I missed a bit. There you go. Some other things you can have if you don't have any steak, then of course you can also use chicken, or you could have some pork, so some pork sirloin chopped up is beautiful. You can also use lamb, and for vegetarians, tofu is brilliant, fantastic, we love tofu. And you can even get some flavoured tofu, but we're going to be adding some flavours to this anyway, without the need to buy anything already flavoured. So that doesn't take very long at all for that steak to brown through. You're really just going to make sure it's brown, get rid of all of the red bits, and then it will continue to stay hot and keep cooking outside of the pan. So we're going to take it out, off the heat, because we don't want to cook it too much or else it becomes really tough and not very pleasant to eat. And we're going to pop that aside to rest. There's our steak. And now we're going to work with our vegetables. So the first lot of vegetables are our flavoursome veggies. So we've got our ginger, some garlic the onion. These are really tasty vegetables here. So we're just going to stir fry those a little bit and just to soften ever so slightly. So these are the ones that need the most heat and also to get the flavours happening as well. Doesn't matter if it sticks a little bit to the bottom, the sauce will pick that up later when we add that sauce or the sauces. So we're just really breaking apart the onion pieces and getting that started. Obviously, if you had a wok and greater heat, it's going to be a bit quicker as well. Sometimes we've got to just be a bit more patient with the electric frying pan. Okay, if you need to, you can always add a little bit of water just to give it a bit more moisture, like that. And then that can help to soften the onions a little bit more. All right, so the next thing we're going to add is our carrots. In they go. And the great thing about a stir fry, lots of great things about a stir fry, but what I love about a stir fry is the veggies, you don't cook them too much. You want to keep still a fair bit of crunch, and in doing that you're also keeping a lot of the nutrition left in the vegetables. So maximum nutrition stir fries. You're not, unlike if you were boiling vegetables, a lot of the nutrients leach out into the water, whereas a stir fry we're capturing it all in the dish. Then I'm going to put in my broccoli. Right, so we're going to get that a good stir through there. Again, if it's starting to get a little bit dry, just add a bit more water, and that will help to cook it up a little bit better and even out that heat as well. Okay, the next thing we're going to add is our capsicums. And so you can see just that beautiful colour, and with that colour comes a range of vitamins, lots of antioxidants as well. The more colour you can get into your dishes, the healthier you're going to be. So the other great thing about our stir fries is the vegetables take on the flavour of the whole dish. And so if you're not a big fan of, say, carrot on its own or capsicum on its own, put in a stir fry and it takes on the flavour of the dish, and it all actually works really well together. So I highly recommend it for people that aren't big vegetable eaters to try and have more things like stir fries because it's a good way to eat veggies and really tasty. So that's actually cooking up beautifully now. The next thing I'm going to add is my snow peas. Snow peas don't take very long at all to cook. We're really just going to heat them through. And they're going to add a beautiful crunch and a lovely little bit of sweetness in those snow peas as well. Of course, if you don't have these vegetables at home, then just modify it. If you've got zucchinis, pop zucchinis in. If you've got celery, chop up some celery. If you've got cauliflower, works beautifully in this dish as well. Green capsicum, doesn't have to be red. So lots of different vegetables work in this dish. Okay, so that's pretty much our stir-fry vegetables. Now what we've got to do now is add a bit of flavour. So the flavour that we're adding, I'm going to make a bit of a sauce here. So what I've got is a couple of tablespoons, or a tablespoon or so of corn flour, and half a cup of water. Now you mix the corn flour with the water, and then you're going to get a lovely start with a paste, and then the corn flour actually will dissolve, so to speak, in there. So that's the base of our sauce right there. And then we're going to put in a tablespoon sweet chilli sauce, just a tablespoon's enough, and a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce. And that right there is our simple stir-fry sauce. Nothing out of a packet, we've just created it ourselves. From ingredients that are probably very easy to have in the fridge or the pantry. So we're going to add that to our vegetables. And that's going to add the delicious flavour to our stir fry. Yum. And what happens is the corn flour will start to thicken and provide a nice glaze over the vegetables. So that right there is a beautiful dish, a very nutritious, vegetable-rich, well, it's all vegetables, dish. Now balance it out with a bit of protein, bring in our meat and mix that through, and we're getting some balance. So we've got a nice lean meat, got our vegetables, and to balance it even more, we're going to add a carb component. So with this dish, you could maybe have it with a bit of rice on the side, or some quinoa, which would work quite nicely. Today, we're going to do it with noodles. So I'm going to turn that down now, because that's pretty much ready to go. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the noodles. And the noodles are actually very easy. They're a cheap way to add some carbs. So I've just bought the packet noodles, the hockey noodles. You can get from the supermarket, so it's in the fridge section of the supermarket. You can also get some in the pantry section. Open those up, put them in a bowl. All you need to do is top those noodles with some boiling water. Just until they're completely submerged by the boiling water. Then we're going to get our tongs, and almost instantly they break apart really quickly. So you do have to, rather than put the noodles straight into the stir fry, you really do have to break them apart using the boiling water. And so it's as quick as that. Then, that's what I love about the noodles. We don't have to cook them, unlike the rice we have to cook. I'm going to strain the noodles, get out all that excess water, and throw these noodles into our stir fry. Mix it all together. Give it a bit more of a heat bit to cook through. So you can see the sauce has now coated all of the vegetables and the noodles and the beef. And when you just give it a bit more of a heat up, then it will thicken that sauce a little bit more. If you like it really saucy, then add a bit more corn flour and water. If you want it a bit more spicy, then you can add some chilli to it as well. Make it your way. Try different meats. Try it with tofu. Try it with different vegetables. And it's a really simple, quick dish that is probably one of the healthiest dishes you can make for yourself. I'm going to serve that up on a plate to show you just how lovely it is. Serve it with some chopsticks. Love chopsticks because they make you eat slower and enjoy your food more. Or if you're really hungry, hook into it with a fork. No knife needed. All right, and there you go, our beef and broccoli stir fry.